Hey everyone, welcome to a 2018 Audi Q5 brought to me by First International Auto Group here in Merrimack, New Hampshire. So this is the Premium Plus trim, and let's go take a look at the outside of the car. So as you can see, the same color as last week in the Audi A5 we reviewed. It's the Moonlight Blue metallic color. It's basically a dark blue that in some light looks like black. We have 18-inch alloy rims here. As you can see, these beautiful daytime running lights, quite gorgeous in this Q5. And in the back we have some subtle Audi badging, but the one thing I wanted to show you in the back here is that the tailpipe isn't there. Those are fake, but it's actually under there, if you can see that. Come around to the hatch, you also have a button on your key to open this automatically, but as you can see, we have plenty of room in this trunk area, and we also have these rear seats that fold down. So getting into the back seat of this Audi Q5, it's not as snug as that A5 was last week, but you know, even for an SUV, we don't have tons of room sitting behind myself. So I sit at about 5'9", so I should have a decent amount of room, but if I was any taller, I really wouldn't have much room for my legs. In the back here, we also have adjustable climate control for ourselves, independent from that of the front. We also have this gorgeous panoramic sunroof above us with the shade currently open, not the glass itself. And then the leather seats from the front also carry towards the back along with this beautiful wood paneling. So now that we're on the open road here, let's talk about the powertrain in this Audi Q5. So we have an inline turbocharged 4-cylinder that makes 252 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque, and that's mated to a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic. It's actually a DSG, which you often see in Volkswagen products. So some of the key features in this Audi Q5 Premium Plus is the all-wheel drive system, of course, Quattro, and then we also have this gorgeous panoramic sunroof. We have a 19-inch optional speaker system here, the Bang & Olufsen. Some of the safety features include blind spot monitoring and Audi's Auto Sense system, which actually, in the event of predicting a collision, the windows will shut, the car will lock, and the car will also attempt to brake just before a collision, essentially trying to sense it and keep its passengers safe. So we also have keyless entry and push button start in here, which is the perfect duo. You basically never have to take your key out of your pocket, but also don't leave it somewhere. So in this Audi Q5, we have adjustable drive modes, we have dynamic, we have comfort, and we also have off-road. There's also a auto and an individual setting mode too, so you can adjust those settings individually, but honestly, my bet is just to leave this thing in dynamic. So far, I'm really enjoying this drive position. I enjoy the steering wheel too. It kind of contorts to your hands really well. It's shaped just right. And although Audi does make a gorgeous flat bottom steering wheel, this one is obviously round, but we won't subtract points there. So in this interior, we have 8-way adjustable leather seats that are also heated with 3 steps. We have this 19-inch audio system that actually sounds really nice. I was playing some music just before I started my review, and I really enjoyed these speakers. I would say that they're probably better than the Harman Kardons that are in the BMWs, but I think everyone's opinion on those are subjective. So this SUV with just 252 horsepower from an inline 4-cylinder, you'd think it wouldn't really get off the line, but actually the quoted 0 to 60 for this car is 5.9 seconds, which is actually quicker than the 2014 Audi A5 we drove last week. And although I said I enjoy my drive position, I would say that I would like my seat just a little bit lower. I feel like I'm sitting a little too high in this interior, but that's all right. The visibility is really good. We have plenty of visibility out the rear hatch as well, and these A-pillars are quite small. No speakers in these ones. So I just switched the car into comfort, and I will say that putting it in dynamic just makes you go a little too fast. These roads are buttery smooth and the ride is really good in this Audi Q5, so you end up going a little bit faster than the roads permit. But switching into comfort, you basically almost have the powertrain ignore you. It just pretends like it doesn't exist. Not saying it doesn't provide power when needed, but you honestly just have an effortless and dramaless drive. So this Audi Q5, while we're stuck behind some slow cars here, is on the MLB platform, which, as some of you may know, is the same platform that the Porsche Macan is on. And so yes, we can say that we're basically driving a Porsche Macan, but the Audi version. And yes, I know they don't share all these same parts, but they have essentially a core amount of components that are shared between the two cars that just allow the Volkswagen Auto Group as a whole to save a little bit of money on development costs. So this interior is just quiet as a mouse. I feel like I'm almost in outer space where I just don't hear anything that's going on in the exterior of the cabin. I really enjoy all these soft touches and this leather-wrapped steering wheel. I just feel like this car is made from very high-quality materials. And comparing this to the BMW X5 we drove a few weeks ago, I would actually prefer one of these. I don't feel like it has the same interior space. That X5 is clearly a bit larger, especially for the back passengers. But overall, I'd say that this car feels a little bit more well-made. So this Audi Q5 Premium Plus is priced just over $20,000 at First International Auto Group, and it's currently sitting at just above 81,000 miles. So far, everything has seemed to hold up really well in this car. I know some people have complained on the forums. I was browsing a little bit the other day as we go over the worst road in Merrimack. Alright, handled it pretty well. I will say that the bumps weren't too jarring, but we were also going a little fast over them today. Yeah, so I was browsing the Audi forums, and I just came across a lot of people complaining about silly, simple little things breaking, like door switches or window switches, etc. And I will say that there's nothing weird or wonky broken in this car. I haven't stumbled upon anything like that, so far so good in this Audi Q5 with just over 80,000 miles. Alright, so turn radius test. I've said before that I kind of have to get a better road to do this on that's a little more challenging for the cars that I take, but we have yet to find that. Alright, hazards on, let's throw it into reverse. As you can see here, we have some parking sensors that just kind of show you what's going around this Audi Q5, and we also have this decently resolution backup camera. I wouldn't say it's of modern quality, but for 2018 it's pretty good. So regarding fuel economy, it's actually pretty good for an SUV. We get 23 city, 27 highway. Yes, you're not breaking the 30 mile per gallon mark, but it's actually very well comparable to the rest of the SUVs that I've driven on this channel. So I'm just still very impressed with how this Audi Q5 drives. The dual clutch is quite smooth. I would say it shifts very fast too, and we also have these paddle shifters to downshift right on the wheel. I will say with the paddle shifters, my only complaint is that they are wheel mounted, just like my car, because when you're doing overhand turns, you can't shift. Whereas if they were column mounted, they stay in one position and you know exactly where to find them. So regarding the infotainment system, we don't have wireless CarPlay, but we have wired Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And so that was new with the 2018 models and became a standard feature going forward. And regarding the regular infotainment system in here without Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, it's really easy to use. You can find all your settings either right out here on the front where you got your heated seats, your climate control. Basically all the buttons you'd expect to be buttons are still buttons at this time. And you also have this scrolly wheel to control your screen up here. Very easy to use, and every single Audi I've driven has a very well-made infotainment screen and very thought through with how it's actually going to be used while driving or by your front seat passenger here. So the panoramic sunroof in this car is also really nice. It opens up and has a little windscreen at the top, and you also have a sunshade that closes independently, and they both have their own buttons, which I like too. So with that being said, I really enjoyed this Q5. It pleasantly surprised me. I don't feel like these are the best looking cars. I feel like their best angle is the front end. But overall, I feel like it's a timeless design that Audi has kind of carried through its generation, this obviously being the second generation of Q5. But overall, yeah, this car has really impressed me. From the interior to the exterior, everything is very well made, well designed. And yes, I've heard that these things don't have the greatest maintenance costs and maintenance history in them. They are just a blast to drive. So to conclude this video, I really liked my time in this Audi Q5. It's very well made. I think that is probably the best driving SUV I have on my channel, even dating up to my Ioniq 5 review. Overall, I highly recommend this Audi Q5. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.